Being a conversationalist has taught me that some of life's greatest value comes from the stories, journeys, and experiences of others. Through this podcast, I'll be speaking with some of the most tapped in and inspiring individuals from various different industries to unpack the gems behind successfully navigating our way through life with purpose. This is Candid Conversations on the Nicola Dawkins podcast. Guys, we're here, Candid Conversations with Nicola, episode 1.
Amen.
So this is actually our launch episode, and I'm joined today by Terri-Lee, who is a really good friend and sis of mine. I feel like we have a lot of conversations that are very fruitful, usually through the voice notes. Which, do you know what?
I love a long voice note.
Yeah,
I do love a long voice note.
Me too. And the other day I sent my cousin a voice note, and it was only about 2 minutes. And she was like, I know you didn't just send me a 2-minute voice note. Anything over 30 seconds is against voice note etiquette. And I was like, first of all, I'm notorious for long voice notes.
I've been breaking the rules.
What rules? They're not our rules.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just like, we can't operate on voice notes. But we do. We have 10-minute voice notes back to back.
Do you know what? Somebody did actually say, my friend the other day, she was like, someone sent me a voice note and it was like 11 seconds. And I was thinking, is that it?
That's a breath. But we say that to say we have a lot of fruitful conversations. Yeah. So I'm really glad you're here as my first guest, and a reoccurring guest. I know this is not going to be the only time you join me. And today we're sort of going to be discussing overcoming fear. Yes. Really, just the topic of fear in its entirety, because I feel like fear is something that holds not only us but a lot of people back.
Definitely.
And overcoming that barrier to just become your greatest self is something that's important to fulfill your purpose and just to live life in full. And I know you've got a lot to add to that topic.
Yeah.
So, and we're here on episode 1. This is episode 1 of the Nicola Dawkins podcast, which is quite daunting because it's something new, but it's also an obstacle of overcoming fear.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Just from the vision to reality, you probably had many sort of like not, I wouldn't say blocking stones, but times of like hesitation. And yeah, you've obviously overcome it. So
yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here. What does fear mean to you?
Do you know what? I feel like I saw something recently, and I think it said faith and fear. They're both. I wouldn't like you can't see both of them, but it's whatever you feed into it. So whatever you feed into your faith will.
I bet there was a quote I shared on my story.
It probably was.
Yeah, from the Purpose platform.
I love the Purpose platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's so true. Just when I think about fear in itself and stuff that I've done before, I just feel like the only thing that stops me, like the fear, is me feeding into the fear. That's what stops me doing stuff I want to do. Now at 30, that's when I'm like, nah, I haven't got time. Because there's been so many times, like, this is the most silliest thing, but when I was 16, I wanted to tap dance. You know, I wanted to tap dance, and I remember saying, "Oh, I'm too old." I was 16. I was like, "I'm too old." I was scared because I went to a different dance class, and I saw the type of people that went there, and it wasn't my type of people. I don't mind being in spaces when I'm the only one. I'm fine, women, black, anything. I don't mind. But when I went there, I was like, "No, I'm too old." It was the fear. I was finding excuses. I'm 30, and I still wish I did it.
Really?
I don't exactly, and that was nearly like 15 years ago. I don't want to, about 14. But I don't want to then now at 30, when I get to 50, be like, I wish I did it, because what can I do after? Like at 50, then there's some stuff like physical abilities that I might not have or might not be able to do anymore, and I will still be thinking about when I was 30.
That's true. It's funny you say that as well, because and the quote is, faith and fear require the same thing of you, to believe in the unseen.
Yes, see,
that's it. Yeah. Because if you have faith in something, you're believing something that it's not a reality yet.
Yeah.
But
it's whatever you put into it.
Yeah. And then fear is the same.
Yeah.
You fear, and it's funny because do you know what I feel like fear is? For me, I would say, or my interpretation of fear is that it's more so how you think people are going to perceive you. An element of fear is how you think people are going to perceive you.
Definitely.
So, for example, your experience of wanting to do tap but feeling like you were too old.
Yeah.
Says who?
Exactly.
So it's you thinking people are going to think you're too old.
Yep.
You probably didn't even feel like you were too old. You thought people probably
the people
think I'm
in
a
the
bit
class,
big for this.
or people are dropping their 6-year-olds.
Yeah. And it's funny because I feel like it holds us back, and it's always often it's the opinions of people who are not even chasing their own aspirations.
Yeah.
Who might then speak negatively on someone who is.
Yeah.
So you can't allow that to stop you, because it's just go for it.
But you know what? Even you saying that, I think that's fear in itself. The fact that the people have the opinion, but they're so easily able to say, "Oh, you shouldn't." Like, everyone's got an opinion, but it's so much easier to have an opinion than actually go for your goal. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's got some sort of goal. Even if it's just that I'm going to get up today, I'm going to do the shopping, I'm going to finish whatever projects I need to finish. I've got targets to hit. Everyone's got some sort of goal that they need to achieve at some point. And some people, it's so much easier to distract themselves from that, or just not go for it at all, make up excuses, but
diminish someone else's.
Exactly, because of their expectation. So yeah,
no, that's true.
There's a lot of elements of fear, but yeah, a lot of it is self-inflicted. But it's self-inflicted in a way of you talk. Well, I don't know about you. I talk to myself all the time, but sometimes that voice can be fearful. So that voice can try and leave me to stay in my comfort zone, because it's nicer here. But then I feel like the other side of me is like, we're not doing that anymore. I'm 30. I know the life I want. I have to get it. There's no one else is going to do it for me. I have to get it. So
that's the courage.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I feel like a lot of people, I've taken a few leaps of faith in my lifetime, and a lot of people always go like, "Oh, you're so fearless," or people perceive me as fearless, and I feel like what I've come to the realization, I'm definitely not fearless. I can be a lot of things. Fearless is not one of them. I feel like I'm courageous.
Yeah.
Which is like, you feel the fear,
Oof.
but you do it anyway. Oof. And legitimately, I feel like it's more important to be courageous than to be fearless, because I don't really feel like anyone's fearless. No one has no fear. It's about feeling that fear, but having the courage to do it, whether it is. And you know what? I feel like we've been speaking a lot on it from a success point of view. But I think life in general, having that outlook and that quality is important. Even if, like, skydiving, for example, or people have a fear of heights. You might feel a certain way about it, like, okay, I'm scared of heights, or I'd never jump out of a plane. But then if you do it, you've just had the courage to do it.
You're not
you
convincing
find
me.
the courage, girl.
For that one, when I watched your skydiving video, and even I was like, well done, girl. Well done. Because for me, I feel like you're right. I would say that's one thing I can't do.
No, you can.
But I can. I don't want to.
You just need to find the courage.
I can.
don't want to.
I don't want to, but I can. Like, no. But well done you, because no, but I think that's what it is. It's like what you said. It's pushing the boundary, and I think it's a bigger act than you jumping out the plane. It's this is something that I've thought about, but I'm not gonna really do it. It's the courage that will push you to do it. Not me, not that, not that, but in general, yeah, definitely.
That's interesting though, because I feel like you saying that, I feel like you can be courageous, but it doesn't mean that's gonna spill over into every area of your life.
Yes, exactly.
Like, even me, for example, I feel like I'm very courageous when it comes to things like that. If it's something daring, I'll jump out of a plane, I'll do like a high zip line, I'll leave my secure job to go test out you know what I mean? Like, there's certain levels of courage that I have particularly, and I feel like a lot of us are like that. You go jump in full throttle in certain areas, but say relationships, for example, I'm like, I'm just not as courageous, which is funny. Like, and it's in me because I've exercised that sort of courage in other areas. But if I look at it, I thought actually when I was thinking about this topic today, about the like overcoming fear, I didn't realize until probably today that maybe it's a certain element of maybe the fear of being let down or something like that that stops you from jumping in full throttle in
But
that.
you see that it shows you there's so many different elements to fear because me, I might be like I would say like I'm a bit of a dreamer just in general. So like let's say business or relationships, friendships, I'm very give my all to what I want to do. There's fear there, but I feel like in certain, I think it's different. I think it's different for different situations because there's fear there, but I don't like to feed into that energy. But it's there, I know. But the reason why I say I don't like to feed into that energy is because I feel like, let's say we have 6 months of a job, we have 6 months of like a friendship, and I know, like I can read the story, and I know that after the 6 months, the book's closed. I can worry the whole 6 months. I can have fear the whole 6 months. I can talk myself out of it for the whole 6 months. I've just wasted 6 months. Or I can enjoy the 6 months.
Yeah.
I can really live and enjoy the 6 months and take the memories. Once that book's closed, I can take the memories with me.
Embrace it.
If the book decides to fall short halfway through the 6 months, I had a good 3 months.
That's it. Do you know what's funny? Someone said that, I think, about relationships before. When people go into relationships, they are looking for a life partner, or they are measuring someone up to be like, oh, they're going to tick all the boxes. But instead of putting so much pressure on that, which I feel like does come from an element of fear, go into it like, do you know what? This seems right now. Yeah. If it ends up being the best 5 years of my life, it was a great 5 years. I'll happily let it go after that time, rather than is this going to be for life? Yeah. And that takes courage as well. Definitely. Going into something knowing that it might not be everything you expected it to be, and it might not last as long as you wanted it to last. And I feel like what you're saying about jumping in with that mindset, that definitely gives you the courage to jump into more, I would say. And it has for me as well, I feel. I think what is your key to overcoming fear? What's one of your like, do you know what, when I feel fear, this is what I do?
I feel like it's and I'd say energy in the sense of where do I want to place my energy? For me, because it's like what you said, I've done so many things in my 30 years now, that I just feel like I kind of can suss out myself in certain situations. So let's say, for example, an interview for a job that I'm not qualified for, maybe like 3 times the salary, I'm going to go for it anyway. I just have that mindset because I feel like it's like what you said, there's a bit of faith in it because I just know myself. So I know, I might not get it. I'm going to leave an impression on you. You are going to think of me for a next, you might have a role underneath. You might even pick me for this role. I've had roles. I've gone in with no experience, nothing. And I've said to them right there and then, look, I'm like a Duracell bunny. Literally to teach me everything. I like to learn. I want to learn, and we can go. And I've got the job. But this is something that I probably wouldn't have gone for on paper because I'm like, oh, I can't, no, I can't do that. Yeah, but so I feel like for me, it's more of a, when I say it's energy, it's a mindset, because if you don't, someone else is going to. If you don't, someone else is going to, and you're just going to think about it, and you're just going to regret it. You're going to shoulda, woulda, coulda. But where does that get you?
That's another quote. There are people less qualified than you doing the things you should be doing simply because they decided to believe in themselves.
Did you put that on the Purpose platform as well?
You know what time it is. You know I did.
Do you know why I say that? Because I get a lot of quotes from there from you anyway. But I feel like that's one of the quotes that helped me when I started my business, because it's something that I procrastinated against. And I've seen, you know, like when you have a business idea, you start to see, or like, let's say, for example, you want a new car, you know the car, and then you see it all the time.
Yeah.
So when I have like a business idea, then everything is attracting me. I keep seeing stuff. but some of the stuff are not to my standard. And I feel like that's God's way of saying to me, yeah, there's going to be people out there. I'm going to annoy you. You're going to keep seeing this until you get up and do this.
Yeah. I can relate.
Do you know what I mean?
That was me with the podcast. I'm not going to lie to you.
And look where we are.
And here we are recording it, episode 1, which is, it's monumental because it's funny when I thought of creating or was given, because that came straight from God, the Purpose platform.
Amen.
I have a whiteboard and I wrote down like a strategy, like a 4-stage plan of how I'm going to launch the Purpose platform, what I want to achieve, what I want it to give to people, and how the elements to add into it.
Yeah.
And actually, in summary, your way of overcoming fear is self-belief and faith.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Believing in yourself and applying faith to that. I love that.
Every time.
By the way. But yeah, back to the Purpose platform. I had a strategy, and I have a strategy furthermore. I literally put the whiteboard. It's on a wall in my hallway in my house, and you know I like minimal clinical. Since creating listen, everything is good. Just there's merchandise and whiteboard and everything. I just
can get back to.
I'm gonna get back
in your
it's gonna come, but it's also good because it's the process at the end of the day. But I say that to say, under like stage 3 was a podcast. I wrote podcasts for Candid Conversations.
Wow.
Because in stage 2, I said I'm going to do Candid Conversations live. So for anyone tuned in, I was doing a series of Candid Conversations with purpose-driven entrepreneurs via the Purpose platform. Just for anyone listening that may not be aware of that, during summer, it was summer 2020 now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Time flies.
So when did you write the whiteboard? The
whiteboard, June 2020, because I came up with the Purpose platform May 2020.
Yeah.
So May 10th, 2020 is when like the Purpose platform launched. June 2020 is when I wrote down like what I want to achieve, the strategy. Literally, it was like a download. You know, when God's talking to you, He will give you a download. Or when God gives you an idea, He gives you the blueprint with it.
Yeah.
And then He will give you the tools. When He gives you the vision, and then He will give you the tools for it to come to fruition. All in its right timing, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean because you've got the whole blueprint when He's giving it to you, it's all going to unfold at once. Sometimes you have to be patient, and you have to go through the journey to take the gems from what you've picked up along the way. Because without going through that journey and some of that hardship, because a lot of the times it comes with some hardship too.
Yeah.
But that's where the value lies.
That's what I think happens when we was having a conversation just in regards to sometimes you see things that people produce and then it sort of disappears. But they obviously had so much thought into it to bring it to that stage. Then where did it go? But I think that's it. We kind of expect the tools. We expect the vision. We kind of expect everything to go to plan because we feel like God's in it. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
I think the sooner you realize it doesn't work like that, or the sooner you realize that you have to work. Say a quote about the car, because I love that one. That one for me, again, Purpose platform. That quote, I think we even had this conversation, but I'm sure it was based off the Purpose platform, just in regards to the car not moving.
Oh yes. Which was actually a Rick Warren. I was watching a Rick Warren sermon, and he basically said, if God gives you an idea, or if you are trying to achieve something, you can't just sit in the car and expect God to guide you and lead you. Sit in the car mobile, like engine's not on, what you did. He said you have to take that step. So you have to switch the engine on and start driving the car. When you're driving the car, God will steer you. He will direct you left. He will direct you right. He will let you know which way to go. But if you're not moving forward and stepping on that gas in faith, you're not going to move because you're just stationary, and God can't move a stationary car. The same way He can't move your plans or your business or your relationship, whatever it might be. He can't move that forward if you are not driving. He can't steer. But we said all that to say, because going back to you said you were always seeing things that reminded you of what God was saying you to do. I said that to say it was the same with the podcast, because every minute you turn around, you see like I would even, you have a Bible app and then it comes with the notifications.
Yeah.
And I even see things from the Bible app talking about like podcasts, because on the app they have different elements of it.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing it and I'm like, okay, this is, God's telling you. And then I never had the cheek to, it's funny, you always ask God, like, show me this or direct me this, or can
showing
I have
every
this
day.
or I knew what the instruction really was.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the cheek to ask God for nothing more until I went ahead and done it. Like, you could do what God tells you to do, and it might fail, it might last, you might do it once and then he leads you somewhere else, but you have to step on that stepping stone to be able to unfold and unlock them other doors that he's trying to send you into. Because even when I left my job to go into events.
That would have taken a big leap of faith in my book.
Yeah.
That must have. Do you know it's because people talk about that, like all the time. You see entrepreneurs say, "Oh, I left my 9 to 5," or "Leave your 9 to 5," or "You can make this much money outside of a 9 to 5." But it's like actually knowing you're going to get a secure income, and then leaving that because you believe in yourself, or you believe in your idea or your vision, or there's more that you want to do with your life. That to me is a big deal.
And it's hard. It taps into your self-belief and faith, but I think the most important thing is you feel God telling you to move.
Yeah.
And you hear him, and it's funny because I was really successful and it's not simple as well.
Yeah.
I thought I had a bulletproof plan. I thought everything was like, yep, perfect. I left. I made the decision to leave. So just if anyone's tuning in, I've shared this, I think, before on different interviews or something that I've done. But I had a very successful 6-year career in property, real estate, and I took a leap of faith after that 6 years. Left. I was a manager. Left to pursue wedding planning and events, because I've always enjoyed, the little wedding planning and event situation, which I still do.
Yeah.
But I thought that's what I wanted to do. That is my passion. I'm very passionate about wedding planning, events, putting on things like that. So I left that to pursue my passion. In leaving that to pursue my passion, I ended up finding my purpose, because I'd done an internship, 4 months internship in wedding planning and events. I enjoyed it, but I found that's not what I want to do as a career in that element. As in,
it's what you can do.
I can do it, and I had to go and do that to realize that it's not what I've been called to do.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it, and I do believe I'm going to have opportunities to still put on events and plan events. But I realized, one, I want to do it with for my own, whether it's my own business, with my own narrative and things like that. But also I realized it's not what I've been called to do. It's a gift I've been blessed with.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between being talented at something and being called to do something. There's a difference between being talented at something and what you've been called here to do.
Okay.
So say, for example, speaking, I've always, and you know what? Sometimes you don't realize your gift is your gift.
Yeah.
I've had what people call the gift of the gab since I could talk. School, my friends' parents, like everything, I've always just been able to talk.
Yeah.
Whether it's talking myself out of a situation, into a situation, negotiating.
Yeah.
I won Letters Negotiator of the Year for 4 consecutive years.
Wow.
When I was working in property.
Yeah.
That's talking. That's building relationships.
Because I think personally, even from like the period of time when I knew you and wasn't necessarily friends, I said, and I think I've said this before, I admired it's hard as a sales girl working in sales, but to see, I think I kept seeing you get awards, you was winning, and I was like, yeah, she's on her job. But I think then getting to know you as a person, I can see that from, it's clear as day. Anyone who's going to meet you, I can see that, like, you're very good at speaking, you're very good at, like, I think I said it to you, I think you're talented and I know it's a weird thing when it comes to speaking, because obviously we all speak, but you're talented. Like, it's been given to you because how you articulate yourself. To me, yes, it's big.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And that is something I've heard, which is kind of what enlightened me into, like, oh, I'm supposed to actually be using my voice outside of my friendship groups, my family, my job, like I realized that actually my ability to speak, to articulate myself in a certain way, to relay a message is not just who I am and a part of my personality. It is a gift.
Yep.
And I realized as well, like the closer I grew to God, or the things I would learn along the way, like credit, having really poor credit, building it, and then being able to not just do that, but share that in a way that other people will understand.
Exactly.
It gives value to other people, and then they're able to like to learn from it themselves, and then personal circumstances and experiences, which throughout this podcast I'll share a lot more.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's important to identify your gifts and categorize them into passion and purpose, because I believe that one of my and God might have multiple purposes for us, I believe that too, but I believe one of my core purposes in life is to use my voice for various different things, but I believe it is to share, to speak out loud, and to just share the wisdom, educate people, just use my voice whichever way God leads me to use it. Is how I've been doing that, especially since creating the Purpose platform, putting out that sort of content. Everything comes from me on the Purpose platform, and it's not from me, it's from God. And actually that's funny, because I watched a Sarah Jake Roberts sermon, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I might have told you about this. And she was talking about, what was the topic of her? I'm trying to remember what it was called. I don't remember what the topic of the actual entire sermon was, but she said in the sermon, God doesn't bet on you. So when God's called you to do something, he's not betting on you to be able to go out and do it. And I feel like that is something that hinders and stops a lot of people, is thinking, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this. I'm not qualified. I'm not equipped. I'm not sure I can do this. She said, God is betting on himself through you. So you just need to answer the call. And like Rick Warren said, turn on the engine and drive. And God will direct the ship and steer you. And when things start to unfold, start to happen, start to grow, you're seeing the impact. You realize that it is only God's.
It could only be.
He's bet on himself through you. So don't doubt yourself in thinking, I'm not capable of doing this, or I don't know if I'm going to be good at it. Nah, if God called you to do it, he's going to do it.
Do you know what I see? As you were saying that, in my head, I see, because there's so many different elements to fear. In that sense, it's like a big bag, and it's like, I've got this idea, or this is how I feel today, and it's like, oh, where's that bag of fear? And there's so many different words that you can pull out. It's endless. Like there's so many different words that you can pull out and be like, oh, yeah, oh no, I'm not, I haven't got a qualification for that. Oh no, I haven't got experience for that. What else is in that bag? Close it. And don't get me wrong, I'm human. But it's just a fight, because for me, it's like, even, and this is another element of fear for me, it's like, is this it? Is this it? And I feel like I've done all right in my 30 years, but I'm not where I want to be. Do you know what I mean? I'm not there yet. And don't get me wrong, because I'm grateful to God all the time. Like, I'm so grateful and I'm thankful. But I definitely know that this isn't it. There's so much more, but that's because I know I haven't given my full potential to certain things yet. That element to fear is, and I think analyzing myself, I think that sometimes if I think me putting my all in, sometimes I have the fear that if I put my all in and I don't see the results how I think I'm going to see it, I let myself down. So there's a fear, because if I put 25% in, I'm getting a bit of a result. It's like, yeah, that's good. If I put 50%, or like in sales, you know the type of sales person I am, and I've spoke to you near the end of the month before. I'll have a target, and I have this target for the whole month, and I'm doing okay. And literally, it's like a fire that ignites on that last week, and my target is so unachievable in a week. You've given me a whole month, and I clear it. I clear it.
It's just putting in your all.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I wrote I think it was a tweet that I wrote the other day that says, when God sees you trying, he's gonna come through for you. And that's one thing I have learned, because we're blessed with many capabilities, whether it's an idea, whether it's whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And we can ask God all day long for whatever we want. But if we just sit there and go, oh yeah, I've asked for it, it's going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute God sees you putting in, and it sometimes doesn't even have to be 100%. Because
it's just a bit more focus, a little bit of focus or something.
And genuine input, because sometimes we don't have 100% to put in.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm tired. Like look, I'm tired. Like I can't. But if you've got only 30% in you, put in your whole 30%, and
he will show you.
Exactly.
He will show you.
But if you sit around and just hope for something without putting any faith, without works is dead.
Amen.
That
is literally it. And I feel like the faith part, for me, the faith part of it, it kicks in because I know myself. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I do it, but I know myself, and I know that if I put my all in, I can hit this in this 4 days.
Yeah.
Even though I've had a month. And I do feel like sometimes, like, oh, Terri, why do you do this? Like, why don't you just use the whole month? You could kill it. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But it just, in other circumstances, it is an element of fear, because I am like starting a new business. Sometimes I'm like, you want to put your 100% in, but subconsciously I don't put 100% in, because I feel safe that if where I am now, I can see results. If I put 100% in and I don't see results, like I'm gonna feel like
disappointment.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel so bad. But yeah, again, it's a learning process. But with the fear, that's the whole doing it anyway. You have to find your own, whatever works for you. You have to find a way to be able to push through, whether it be another voice, whether it be you pray, whether it be like meditation, whatever works for you. You have to find a way to push through to do it anyway.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it, and it works. Yeah. That the funny thing is when you have a lack of faith, and you don't, and not when I say lack of faith, I'm not even talking about on a religious aspect. I just mean in general.
Yeah.
When you have lack of faith and you don't do it, you're always going to be that person that goes, it's not going to happen, it's not going to work, because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
You've never put that faith in to believe that, you know what, let me just take that leap of faith, or let me just jump, or let me just put in my 100% or 50%, because I believe that if I do that, it may work. If you don't take a leap of faith, you're never going to see or reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not going to believe it, because you've never tried.
You've never had that feeling.
Exactly. But the minute you have that, do you know what? Fine, let me just do it, whatever it might be, and you see the results coming off the back of it, and you're like, whoa, actually. And you see something. It might not even be what you thought it would be,
but it's more than what you thought you was capable of. Yeah.
And then that gives you the little bit more petrol in your tank to try again, and to go further and further and further and further. And then you just become someone who does take leaps of faith, or someone who does just go, do you know what? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And especially when you erase opinions of others. Now, there is like loads of quotes that go like, you know, you don't care about the opinions of others and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I care.
We do care. I'm so glad you said that. We do care.
It's hot, like it's I feel like it's near impossible to not care about what people think of you, or what people think of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because of the world we live in and just the way we've been versed. But I do feel like it's how much value you put into that.
Exactly. Because I was just about to say there is an element, because I do care, but same, I'm still going to do what I want to do. Because if it's being true to myself, sometimes I analyze why. Like there might be something, and then I'm like, why do they not see it how I see it? But I still see it how I see it. I might try and see how they, like someone else's point of view. I'm still going to see it how I see it. But like you said, some people really put a lot of their self into the opinions of other people. And I think that's the like it's like a seesaw. That's where they need to find the balance,
especially if it's hindering you in life.
Yeah,
I feel like it's okay to. I feel like it is okay to to care or to consider. I'm not going to say care. I feel like it's okay to consider the opinions of others or what people's opinion of you is, because sometimes it's teachable.
Yeah.
Sometimes actually you have to hear what people have to say if it's coming from a place of, it's not coming from a place of negativity, constructive criticism or something that even sometimes people do say things in poor taste and it might not be how it should have been delivered and their opinion might not have even been like warranted, whatever it might be, but it might be that little eye opener, like, actually maybe I could look into that a little bit, and like you got to pull from it.
Or even when they say I think this is what they say, like a joke in jest.
Oh yeah, something truth said in jest or something like
something like that. It's true. It's that exactly that. There's so many teachable and readable, like you can read something from what people are saying, but I think you hit the nail on the head. You can consider it, and then look at yourself, analyze, think about how you might be able to incorporate if you want to, if you think you need to. If not, then.
And we said all that to say, don't allow the opinions of others to stop you from pursuing whatever it is that you want to pursue. Because when it's all said and done, to be fair, you can care what people think of, or you can consider what people think about you, but it does not matter. And I think that is what the most important thing is.
I was sorry to cut you. I was thinking about this recently. This is on a lower scale, but exactly the same. When I see like Instagram comments and stuff, because I feel like everyone's so sort of opinionated these days, because you can be yourself because no one can see you. I just think that sometimes you will leave impact on someone else, but you really log off and go about your day. It's not, do you know what I mean? You can leave impact on somebody and they can be feeling so hurt and distressed, and they're going about their day. They're logging off, they're putting their phone down, they're reading their book, they're going about their day, but they've left such an impact on you. So definitely feel like don't. Yeah, you can take from people sometimes, but the world that we're in now, I feel like people have opinions for the sake of having an opinion.
And then when you realise it doesn't matter for a few reasons, but I feel like two in particular is what I pull from. Is the first one is, who are you living for?
Yeah.
Now, if you're living for the world or you're living for the people of the world, that's when you think their opinions matter, they're the be all and end all. But I feel like the power comes from when you know who you are and whose you are, and irrespective of someone's opinion of you, you got to look to God first. Y'all know, if you don't know already, but I'm a woman of faith.
Amen.
And if God's cool with it, and God's cool with you, and He loves you all the same, then if
it can sit right on your heart.
Exactly. And when something doesn't sit right on your heart, you don't be too proud to correct yourself. And I've had to do that myself too. And I feel like when you, especially growing in faith, sometimes you don't even recognize yourself. Like sometimes you are in the wrong, and in a situation you might have felt warranted to do something or to say something or whatever it might be, but then you feel convicted after, like, you know what? Maybe the situation didn't warrant it's possible, but I know I was wrong. Like, and then you got, do you know what? The old me would have been like, I'm gonna stand on it though.
Exactly that. You have to now, like you. I feel like we said this the other day. Like you cannot, once you have God in your life, you cannot act how you wanted to, or act how you've been acting, or however you've been raised. You got to unwind, and it's not because you have to. You have, like, you feel convicted. You physically have to, because when you do something, you don't feel the same. Like I can't explain it.
You know what? This will be a conversation for another episode. But I feel like that is funny, and I feel like it's part of the reason why a lot of people don't invite or tap into, whether it be God or religion, right? Because of the way that you think you're supposed to act. Now it's funny because we say that because we go, oh, when you know God, you won't do. But that's only because of how far we've come in our faith. That nobody from a church didn't tell us you can't do that. Or
Exactly.
it's actually getting to know God personally and him telling you directly you were wrong for that. Go sort it out.
And you can't rest properly
without clearing up your conscience. But I think what's so amazing is actually God's grace in that when you didn't know better, you can still do what you did. You didn't think nothing of it, but he still loved you the same. But it's all a growing like curve, because there's things I used to do or ways I used to act or things I used to say that I felt fine. I'll go to sleep at night. You know, you go sleep like, I'm gonna rinse that couple people today and I feel fine.
They needed it.
They deserved it. You're like, they deserved it. And then you're fine. But God knows at that time you know no better. And that goes for how you act, how you dress, how you carry yourself, whatever it might be, where you are at a certain season in your life. God knows that, and he's not gonna condemn you if you are doing the best you can at that time. But then as you grow in faith and you get closer to him and you know him more, and he starts to reveal certain things to you, and he goes, that ain't right. But at the same time, it's like you can do what you done 4 years ago and felt fine, but today you're like, oh because he's working in you and he's told you it ain't right. So you can't get away with it now the way you got away with it then, because you know better now. So that being graduating or promoted. And it's everyday struggle, child.
No, it is, because like you said, I feel like, and this is just an example. Obviously, my mum's seen me grow. She's seen me grow in faith. So she perceives me now in a certain way. And then someone crashed into my car. And literally, I don't know what happened. I didn't black out, but I was so angry in that moment. When I look back, I feel like I sounded like a lion. Like literally, I went in full rage mode, and I got back in the car, and my mum was just like, "Wow." She was like, "Wow," and I was like, "Oh, sorry about that." But literally, just the change. And you know, my mum's fiery. So she was like, yeah, that I saw my child. But it was more of a, we're human. It's not and I feel like just like what you said, people feel like once you sort of get into faith and once you get into religion, I can't be this person anymore. No, you're human. You are going to be who you was before. You was raised a certain way. You are still going to feel how you feel. It's just that when you know better, you do better. That is literally it.
And you aspire to do better. You try, because we're all just trying. Nobody's perfect. Where everyone's just a work in progress. So it's like you learn things and then you just try to put it into practice. And thank God he's just graceful and patient, and
Amen.
you know, he allows us, and I feel like God loves a trier. Like he sees us trying.
The realness,
that is going to be a conversation that we can tap into in another episode, because I feel like we can definitely expand on that, because
there is an element of fear in that, just in the sense of why people don't take the leap sometimes in faith, because of it's too much hard work. Again, that bag, the bag of the words. They're like, too much work. There's always something. There's always going to be something. But
fear of not being good enough, and then not being able to hit the level of what you think it's supposed to be, whatever that might be. Which is just, it's non-existent, and that is the blessing of really personally knowing God, because you don't have to look at or listen to anyone else and them telling you who you're supposed to be, because God talks to you directly, and he tells you when you're wrong, he tells you where to step, he tells you when you're right. He's quiet sometimes. It's a funny relationship, but there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So I definitely think it's good. I think that's actually a nice way to actually bring our conversation full circle. In saying, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions actually.
Okay.
So, what do you think has been a personal situation that has been your biggest fear factor, like what you were scared to do, scared to jump into, something that really pulled fear out of you, and then what proactively did you do to overcome that and move forward, and then what was the outcome?
Do you know what? And I feel like, because like I said earlier, there's been a lot of times in life where I just go for it. It's a bit of a fake it till you make it. Like, I just know that.
Faith it till you make it.
Amen. Exactly that. I just know, and that's it. The faith. I just know. And I feel like probably when I didn't have the relationship with God, sort of more in my like secondary school days, I had a bit of self-belief because I just knew. I just knew, like, I know this is so silly, but I feel like, and I'm going to answer the question, but I feel like even the smallest things when I was younger, I would go to events without the ticket. I'm getting in. I just know.
Yes.
I just know.
Same.
I just know.
Same.
If it's the gift of the gab, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
If it's the confidence in the way I walk and talk, I'm getting in. It's just, my friends will be like, and I'm like, no, we'll be cool. Yeah, we'll be fine. And we was always fine.
Always.
So
Same.
I kind of adopted that into adult life. It hasn't failed me yet. But I would say for me, the one main thing, I think, yeah, it was fearful, but I want to make sure I'm answering the question. So something that was fearful, but I did it anyway. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is starting my activewear brand.
Sedulous.
Yeah, here we are. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like it's like what you said. I have looked and said to God, like, what is my purpose? Like, I know what I like. For me, I know a passion, not even a passion, just me as a person. I feel like my time here, I have to be impactful on other people's lives. That's my thing. I just need to be able to make an impact. For me, it's free. I just want to be able to make impact on others so that if I go, you've been impacted by me. You're not going to forget that. You're not going to forget me, you know? So that's my thing. But I just feel like God put me in a position to have a job that was in sort of like the fitness industry that wasn't even supposed to be there. Like, it wasn't, I just ended up there. I thought it was going to be like a halfway through the time while I figure things out. And it's probably like the best job I've ever had. It sort of changed my mindset in a lot of things. And I was like, God, are you pulling something here? And then I went on my own fitness journey, and I was buying a lot of gym clothes. You know, you go gym, and then you start feeling yourself. The gym clothes make you feel nice.
The waist getting small.
Yeah, you start, especially you on your journey. But I was getting so much comments and so many like motivational things was coming towards me, drawing towards me, and I was like, wow, like I would love if I like something, I'm promoting it. That is it. And I just was like, oh, what? I wish it was my own thing, just a passing comment. And then God just kept putting these things here and there, and I'm ignoring them. I can see it, but I'm ignoring them because I've done businesses before, and I'm like, no, I'm on a roll here. Let me just stay in the job. Let me just do what I need to do. And I'm still in my job and I love it, but I keep side eyeing everything God's pushing in my eyes. I'm still, because it's the fear. I just thought I can't get to the level. If I can't get to the level that I want to take it, I'm not doing it. I've done this. I don't want to do that.
And that's you betting on yourself instead of you thinking you're
exactly.
And thinking, can I do this? When it's actually God giving you the idea, him betting on
himself. That's it. When I was betting on myself, thinking about my capabilities, I was like, can I get this to the level that I need it to? And then it was and for us, I think it was the lockdown and the clubhouse conversations that we was having and stuff. And yeah, God, because I said, I'm just gonna do it. What can like it just kept coming to me, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And yeah, the part that's worked for me is I put out literally just a tiny bit of content with a couple of samples, and the reception was amazing. And like we said, obviously, do we care what people think? Of course we do. It's a business. Do you guys like this? I like it. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, so we do care what people think because I want people to buy. But yeah, it came from me tapping into what he's dangling in front of me. Even though I kept trying to push it out of the way. But that's it. I feel like a lot of people do, or they need to tap back into, even if you don't have that faith yet, or you don't have that relationship with God, obviously you can always make one, no matter how small. But I do feel like tapping into what's in front of you, because sometimes it really is in front of you. Like you said, the talking, it's in front of you.
And it's been there. Often it's been there.
Yeah.
So your biggest fear was starting your business, which is Sedulous Fit, which is an active wear brand. Your way of overcoming that was just implementing faith, really, and just instead of betting on yourself, giving God an opportunity, basically, to say, all right, I'm gonna answer the call.
Yeah, I asked. It's literally that. I asked because when I have conversations with God, I've said to him, I'm ready to do the work. I've tried the praying where you ask him to do everything.
It doesn't work.
Didn't work.
He sits down like, yeah?
Yeah, I've definitely done that one. But I said, no, give me the tools. Please, just give me the tools. Give me the instruction. Like you said, give me the blueprint and I will do it. Like, I will put the 100% in for this one. Because I believe, and I still believe. So yeah, go on Instagram.
And then the outcome was that you did it.
Yeah.
Because you did. Was it Black Friday?
Yeah.
So Black Friday you released the stuff.
Yes.
And you sold out, right?
Amen. And you know what? Even with that, I have to say, so obviously I started Sedulous. And then I got pregnant. So a fitness journey, and then I got pregnant, which you can still do your fitness journey. I couldn't. Like, for health reasons, I couldn't. So it really stopped everything. And I was a bit like, God, like, oh. I'm grateful for my daughter, but I was like, God, so what's the vision? Like, can I get back to this after? And I really was like, and we had this conversation as well. I was like, well, I bought my stock, got pregnant, got sick, and I was like, well, what do I do? And I didn't have the website ready. I didn't have it to the standard that I wanted it, but I had to stop there. And it was the leap of faith of, do you know what? I'm going to put it out anyway, just to see, and then sold out.
And sometimes you just have to do things, even if it is not to your standard of what you want it to look like or how you want it to be. And I say that from personal experience as well. Even us being here, sitting here having this conversation right now, you know, I have my visions, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. We kind of know that. I mean, like, it's small, but when God's calling you to do something, He's not saying, "I want you to do this, so here you go. I'm gonna let you be able to do it exactly how you envision it and want to do it. I'm telling you to do it, so do it with what you have at the time and just go." And I think my biggest fear, I think you can choose your fear. Or choose which fear you decide to feed into, because fear can be a good thing sometimes. So say, for example, starting a new venture is daunting.
Of course.
And it's a fear, right? It's like, okay. And you might choose to not do that venture for whatever reason why you wanted to do it. If you're faith driven, it might be because you believe God told you to do it. If you're purpose driven, but maybe not so deep in the faith, you might think this is what I'm supposed to do in life or what I enjoy. Or it might just be a venture that you've come up with that you want to do, but you've got a fear of how people are going to receive you or whatever it might be. So you then choose not to do it, right? That's your prerogative. But I have another fear too, which is bigger than that sort of fear, which is not performing to my highest potential in life. Like, you see, when you pass away, and I don't know if it's social media, right? But life just seems a lot shorter these days, right? And every minute you're seeing a post of someone, and it's like, especially, and I can only really speak from a direction of faith, because I feel like I've always known God, and God chose me. I didn't choose God, but that would be an episode for another day. But I feel like, especially when you know it's God calling you to do something, my fear is like letting Him down to that degree, where He's blessed you with a gift or a talent, and you have the ability to touch the lives of others with whatever that gift is. But you sit on it out of fear of, really, when it all boils down to it, the opinion of others. Because if you lived in a world alone, if there was no one around but you and God, you wouldn't have any fear to do anything. Because no one can see you. No one's going to have an opinion about it. No one's watching. You'd walk, if there was if London was empty and it was just you, no CCTV, no cameras, nothing, what's to stop you from walking around London naked?
It's true.
Nothing, because there's no one there. And that's when you realize it's the opinions of others. Exactly. So I think my biggest fear is not answering the call, man. And that has to outweigh your fear of opinions of others.
Was it on the Purpose platform that I saw this post, and it was basically saying, it actually gave me goosebumps. It was basically saying, you don't know when your time is up. So it was like a poster that was showing different, like say for example, someone's in the middle of they're doing their dissertation, someone's starting a race, like someone's rushing to a meeting. You don't know when your time is up. And it was showing like, and I know there's a film where everyone has different time clocks, but it's just saying it's more of a shiver when I feel like I'm wasting time. You don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, and like I said earlier, is this it? I definitely know God's called me for more. So, yeah, no, time is moving. And like you said, we because it's so much, it's so visual now with social media. We are seeing more of the like, oh, so and so passed away. We wouldn't have seen it like that before. So yeah, we just don't know. We just don't know. And like you said, God's put you. He's given you something. He's given you a vision. He's waiting for you to answer the call, and he's looking at your time like, no, you don't know how. Yeah, you don't know how long you've got left.
Yeah, and also those calls are not just for you. A lot of people kind of, and that's probably going to be a conversation for another day. But a lot of people kind of think sometimes their purpose is their focus. It's something for them or something they're supposed to do. But actually, I believe we are all vessels. And by answering your call or by living or trying to pursue your purpose, you're actually impacting the lives of others. That God wants to use you. Like I feel like we're all, I've said this before, we're all chess pieces in God's game of chess. And he wants to use you in different areas to impact the lives of others, to spread his glory in whichever way he chooses you to do that. And just for higher purpose, basically. And when you don't answer your call, you're robbing someone of something, because what you're blessed to do is going to bless them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to actually wrap up, and just say, don't feed into fear.
Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
I couldn't say anything other than that. That's how I live my life. Feel the fear and do it anyway, no matter what you're doing. Like you said, you could be shooting your shot at someone. You could be
shooting shots.
To throw that one in there, because you could be shooting. You could don't try it. You could shoot your shot. You could go for that job that you don't feel like you're qualified for, but you want it. You could start a business, a friendship that you want to rekindle, starting a relationship with God, anything. Just you're gonna feel the fear. And it's like your stage. You're always gonna feel that jitters before you go out. But when you go out there, perform.
There's a scripture, be of good courage, and I feel like that is, there's more to it. I think it says, be of good courage and don't fear the ways of the world, for I have overcome the world. I could be wrong. I always say this, that I'm not very well versed in knowing the whole Bible back to front. But I do try and study little scriptures or something, and I feed off of that when I feel a certain way. Google is my best friend. I always go, what does the Bible say about X, Y, and Z? What does the Bible say about this? But it's something along the lines of, be of good courage and do not fear the world, for I have overcome the world, or something like that. Don't quote me, but basically just tap into that courage. I think that's a good note to round off, is to just say, be courageous in all that you do. And that's all you can. That it's normal to feel fear. It would be abnormal if you didn't. But feel that fear and do it through courage. And I guarantee you, whatever you get out of that, when you've taken that leap of faith or took that jump or whatever it is that you've been fearful to do, when you do it, the reward you're going to get from it is going to be far greater than your lack that you're feeling in your comfort zone. Because one thing is, when you feel it in your stomach, when you're being called to do something, and God keep knocking on that door, you know,
dangling that carrot.
You feel it in your stomach, and it's not gonna go away. You have to go and do it. You've got to do what you think, what you're going after. Whether it is shooting your shot to the men, you know, no, but women shoot their shot too, and I'm here for it. But I'm not. It's not me, but I'm here for it. But yeah, whatever it is, man, just do it. You just don't know where that is going to lead you, and you just don't deserve to be robbed and rob yourself of the greatness that comes out of being courageous.
And you do see a lot of the time these stories. I know it's the end story, But you do see a lot of the time these stories on Instagram and stuff where people have taken that leap of faith, and a year ago or 6 months ago, their whole life has changed.
I saw that a lot in lockdown.
Yeah, whole life has changed.
Yeah.
It's my
courage.
time.
Be of good courage.
Yeah.
Terri, or Terri-Lee in full, thank you.
You're welcome
for joining me on our first episode of Candid Conversations with Nicola. It's been a fruitful conversation.
First, honestly, first of many.
100%.
Many.
For anyone listening or tuned in, where can they find you? Do you have somewhere on social media that you want to share, or your business?
You want to go on to Sedulous Fit. So it's at Sedulous Fit on Instagram. Also www.sedulous.co.uk. You can also find merchandise on there as well. If you want to contact me, just Sedulous
Fit. Yeah, amazing. Again, this has been Candid Conversations with Nicola. You can find me on Instagram, which is Nicola KBD, Nicola, often mistaken for Nicola, but it is Nicola KBD. And also check out the Purpose Platform. This podcast is powered by the Purpose Platform, which is on Instagram at the Purpose Platform. Thank you for tuning in. Back soon.